This International Month for Women, we have tried our best to amplify the voices of female entrepreneurs, and we were never going to be able to do this without the support of BPN and the MasterCard Foundation. So welcome to yet another edition of The Real Talk, and I am bringing your way a trailblazer, a powerhouse, a woman that started business at a very young age. She's learned a lot along the way. She has grown personally and business-wise, and I cannot wait for you to learn from her. Use the hashtag #TheRealTalk if you have any questions that you want to ask. If you feel inspired and touched by that message that will come from her, reach out. We will respond to you. We are at Mythos Boutique Hotel in Kiyovu. Please check them out on the different social media platforms, and whenever you have time, you should have lunch at the Atmosphere restaurant, which is upstairs. Welcome to the show. If you've just joined us, if it is your first time, we hope you will come back and that you will definitely find this worth your while. Our guest today is Imfura Paradis Nishimwe, who's the founder of Wood Habitat. You look amazing, my dear.
Thank you, Jackie.
And it's so good to see you again. Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You know, as a typical, I would love to know, a typical day in your life. You're a CEO and founder. How does your day look?
Okay.
What time does it start?
So, I wake up super early. I won't mention the hour. One
Why?
of those hours.
Some ungodly hour?
You know?
Yeah.
It's some of those hours that when I mention, people are like,
Yeah.
do you sleep
Are
or
you
you just
okay?
want, you know?
Yeah.
But I sleep very early as well.
Okay.
So I made it a point that I'm in bed by 8:30 p.m. That's latest. And then I wake up really early. I spend a couple of hours in the presence of God, worshiping, reading, praying, and in silence as well. Because I realized that I only started that 3 years ago, and it changed my life. So yeah. And then after that, I go wake my son up, get him ready to go to school. No computer, no phone, no answering emails, no answering work phone calls. Nothing before he gets to school. So then I drop him off. Then I go to work at Wood Habitat. Then I have what we call our focus hour, which is thanks to Topify program, the Grow to Scale program by BPN. They introduced that to me, and it changed my life. So I usually take that 1 hour. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. Last time when I saw you, I told you it ended up becoming a whole morning.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Because I realized, because I remember.
And you're in your gym wear.
Gym clothes,
yes.
You know? And I tell you about the gym clothes. Now, because I realized, what they told me when they were diagnosing, my life.
Diagnosing your life.
Yes, and recommending.
Are those the BPN guys?
Yes, these are the BPN guys. They were like...
Basically, they were your doctors, eh?
They're my doctors.
Yes.
They're my business doctors.
Yes.
From being my business mom to becoming... Like,
that's
business
Alice.
type of... That's Alice.
That's
Alice.
Yeah.
Now graduating to helping me grow. They're really partnering with me in that... Not in terms of, like, financial... Really, but the biggest thing they've ever given me is that empowerment, that power to know how to lead my life and my business to scale. And so in that focus hour, I only do things that are scalability.
What does that mean?
So these are things that I would normally not do if I'm not asked to, but they're super important things. I'll give you an example.
Please.
I know it's really important for me to close social engagement that is around kwisobanukirwa. But if I don't do it, my business will not suffer. Nobody will come to me like you didn't. It's not a deliverable that somebody is expecting.
Yeah.
But me as a creative entrepreneur who consider myself to play a role in my society, I know that my thoughts, my experience, my service is really key. So this is a moment that I really take time to think about how I'm serving the society, how I'm serving the community. And it's also a big time this year as we turn 10 years. So this is really, now that focus hour is really important. And normally after the focus hour, I go deal with clients. And I love clients because I always tell people, I consider one of the most fulfilling things I do is to serve people.
Yeah.
I would not want to serve anyone else, or anything else.
Anything else? You have to be people.
Yeah, I just want to serve people. I want to
Yeah.
speak to them. I want to hear them. I want to see what are their dreams. I want to see what are their concerns. I want to ask them questions, to hear their family backgrounds receive calls from around the world, talk to my team.
For you, it's not just about closing the deal.
No.
How many dining tables or sets you want?
No.
It's not that.
Yeah, because sometimes
go
we
deep.
even have people who just send inquiries, like push through our emails. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, I would like 50 tables, 100 chairs,
Yeah.
things like that. And we're like, yeah, we're good, but can we talk to you first? We want to know you.
Yeah.
Because Wood Habitat is a service provider. So we are a solution-oriented company, and we are serving people. So everything we create is for people. And we are big at creating that value of connection. So I connect with the team. And of course, we are as much as we are performance, so we are also a performance company. So
Yes.
we are a profit-oriented company. We make profit. We are serious about deliverables. But the most important thing for us is, do we really understand the need and the problem so that we can create the solution? So this is my morning hours. And then at 12, I normally like to take what I call the Daniel pause, just to pause, sometimes pray, read a little bit, just pause, not talk to anybody, do nothing. And for just 30 minutes, no phone calls, no emails, nothing.
Just pause.
Yes, for 30 minutes, and then I go on. I do gym, so I like my fitness journey has also been one of the key tools that really help me stay super productive.
Is that something
super
you started
well.
recently?
No, 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
This is my 3rd year of consistency, and that's to me the biggest important thing is that consistency, is that power, is that confidence, is that strength that I allowed to flow from within outside, and I'm sold out to fitness. For the rest of my life, that's one of the things I don't. Now.
I don't have that kind of discipline. Like, I'm looking at you thinking, God, why did you deny me that? You should give me a bit of that. Like, even when I try to do a bit of workout, maybe walk here, run there, I'll not be consistent. I won't do it for 5 days consistently.
Yeah, what I will tell you, I'll give you hints.
You should give me hints.
Yeah, but I end my work day at 3 p.m. because I pick my son up from school, and I'm a full-time mom.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really one of the most important, that's the most important thing in my life. Is
By
how
a full-time mom, do you have any help at home?
I do.
You do?
I do. I have help. I have, I have a system around me. I have parents. I have my mom and dad. I have help. I have, I have help. I have partners. I have support systems.
My interpretation of full-time mom would be
the only mom.
Like, in fact, my understanding of a full-time mom would be I don't even go to work. But in this case, you go to work. You're lucky to be self-employed because you can work around that. So full-time for you does not necessarily mean that it's just me and the baby and you've got help.
I go to work, and I go to work, and even at home when I'm with him. I say I'm a full-time mom because in motherhood, everything I do, I take into consideration my children. They're the first people that I am responsible to care for, to serve. I know how sometimes we feel like, especially entrepreneurs, we really have a big project that needs to be delivered. And I serve a very big project, and I'm a very responsible entrepreneur. I don't drop the ball. And my clients know that. That's why they trust me with projects, like big projects. Like, like the big arena, like the golf, all these big projects, they come to me because they know they can rely on me. I don't drop the ball. But I realize that the first person I have to serve is my children. Now I have one. And from serving my children, what I'm teaching them is so that when they grow up, they learn how to serve better. Yeah. They serve their children. It starts from home. We serve from home. We serve our neighbors, our close friends, our close family members, and then we serve the large community. And I realize it's a ripple effect because some people think, and I used to think that way because I really did wrong. My first 5 years of entrepreneurship, I always thought, let me serve the people outside, and then everyone home, because they're my people, they will wait for me, they will do.
Yeah, they will understand.
It was such a wrong formula. It backfired. But anyways, that's how, and then I end up in bed. Yeah. That's my day.
So your day ends at 3. You go to bed early. You wake up early. Let's go to where it all started. Where were you born and raised? You know, you're a formidable force today, but where did it all start?
Yeah, so it all started in Nyamata. I was born in Rwanda, Nyamata, Bugesera, and Nyamata was such, because I was born in 93, so now I'm hitting 32. And yeah, Nyamata was just a rural place. So my parents being young, parents ambitious, amazing.
Are you their firstborn?
I am their
Oh,
firstborn.
lovely. And how many siblings do you have?
5.
Oh, nice.
God chose me
You
to
know,
be
we're
the
also
firstborn.
5 and I'm the firstborn.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
we
a
are
nice one.
relating
Yes,
on that.
you know we are.
That's so good.
Beautiful.
So being the firstborn in a family of these young, Rwandan, ambitious, family-oriented people, like my mom and dad has been, has just really formed the woman that I am today.
Beautiful.
Like
Were they career parents?
Yes. So my dad was working, employed. He's employed. My mom was a teacher when I was a baby, and of course she kept.
They still do until today.
Yes,
Yeah.
but my mom now is working with Wood Habitat. She is our quality controller. Because
Your
this
mom.
woman is, this
Beautiful.
woman is a quality controller
Yes.
at heart, and she's.
You saw her do it at home.
You know
and-
teachers.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, you
Never
don't
a
want to
joke.
talk to. And what I don't, what I'm not sure I want to say is that I see myself growing up like her. Like I'm seeing myself becoming so like her when I go around the
Yes,
house.
stock
or
up and
I
all.
start moving plants.
Isn't
and moving
I've
flowers.
seen you do that.
I'm like, am I becoming like my mom? Because my mom used to.
No,
do
you
that.
are your mom's daughter, no
And
doubt.
I used to be so annoyed. And now
Oh,
I
you used to be
love
so
it.
annoyed. So just know you will annoy some people in future.
And now I tell her, I was like, Mom, I judged you.
And then she's laughing at you thinking, you'll be judged too.
Yeah.
You're being judged now.
But that quality of Wood Habitat is
Yeah.
really coming from that stubborn focus on details.
Yes.
And that comes from what I took from home, from my mom.
Exactly.
And that's what is in Wood Habitat until today. Sometimes a client is like, oh, actually, this thing, I like it. Like, I'm like, no. Even if you like it, even if we want to pay it, I don't like it.
Yes.
And I'm not selling it to you.
That's interesting. You won't just take their money for the sake of taking it. After all, it's the client asking.
Yeah, so that's where I'm from.
Now, talking about Wood Habitat, I wonder what you did in college. Did you study whatever you're doing today?
Yeah, no.
Something different.
So, yes, in college, I was set to do engineering
Yeah.
at the National University, but then I said, I don't want to do engineering because it's going to take me 5 years. And I don't know why in my mindset, I was like, I really want to contribute to my country. I really want to do something great. As much as I didn't know why it was, but I also was like, 5 years isn't, because I also could not see an example of a great engineer that I admired. So then I set out, I went to university, to a private university, started doing communications. On my last year, I decided to just drop off because I was starting a business. I was hired, I had a great job, and I was starting a business, becoming a mom. Yeah.
So talking about becoming a mom, you are pregnant and you need a crib for the baby that is coming.
Yeah.
And then you move around and there's no crib. That's where the idea of starting a business came up. Please share that experience.
Yeah, so then when I was pregnant, I remember I really wanted something really nice for my nursing room. And I started looking for a crib around, and there were not many companies in Rwanda, furniture companies, and I couldn't find any. And I was like, what? You can't find a baby crib? People tell you, oh no, we don't make them, we don't sell them. Because we had shops that would import.
Had cribs?
No, they would tell you they don't import these because they don't sell that much, so it's not good business for them. And then I went to the wood market, the general wood market. And then I was looking around, then I showed the guy, I started showing him pictures, ideas, this is what I would like. I said, yeah, let's do it. But then in that process, he noticed my creativity and my ability to communicate and to work with him.
This guy?
And he was like, this guy, my guy.
Yeah.
He was like, can you do this as a business? you know, can you support me? Because I need somebody like you to help me and we can do this together. And I was like...
And this is the first time you're doing it?
Yes.
Like the first time you're creating...
Yeah, but then he
something.
dropped an idea. And I'll tell you that idea, how it went too far.
Yeah.
Then the crib is out, and people who saw it, they were like, oh, we like it. This thing is actually nice.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you make me something? And in that same process, we get this contact call from Kakagera Game Lodge, the hotel. Yeah, which is one of the best hotels in Rwanda.
Yeah.
They're asking for help. That was one of my first contract, actually.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, you've just started.
Yes.
You don't even have a business.
Yeah, they're like,
there's
okay,
this friend who's
this.
asking for a crib, and then you have a big company
Ordering.
What?
Yeah. And what I know what they noticed, because they explained, they were like, if you're able to produce that level of quality, it means you have great supervision skills. Because I told them the truth. I was like, I'm not a carpenter. You know, I'm not anything of what you're expecting me to be. You know, and plus I am just 22. I'm studying. I'm a mom. I have a whole life. That was basically it for me. I was telling them. And I remember something in me was just like, okay, since I had a 1 year off, you know, maternity leave, I was like, you know what? Let me actually help them. But then they told me, oh, for you to help us, you need to register a company. So I registered my company literally in the same week that my son was born. Like, I delivered my son, and I had to deliver this business.
You know, you delivered your son, you had to register a business and deliver.
Isn't that amazing to do in Rwanda?
This is amazing.
Yeah, and I realized that I didn't even have much money to register a company, because if it was probably another country, I would not have been able to register. Yeah. But it was free, quick, so I could do it with my baby. And I remember I literally took him to RwandaTV to register.
You did.
You know, because I was very blessed. My recovery was really quick.
Yeah.
Of course,
so
I had
you could
those.
walk immediately.
Yeah, I don't even know how. Now, when you ask me, I don't know how.
I know how.
But
You'll tell me God.
Yes, I'll tell you God.
I've had the behind the scenes. I know you'll tell me God. Let's take a break. Let's take a quick break. Please do stay with us. This conversation has just started, and I hope that it's speaking to you. If you have anyone that you believe should be listening to Paradis, please go to YouTube and share that link. We are at Mythos Boutique Hotel. It's in Kiyovu. But I've got to say thank you to BPN and the MasterCard Foundation for making this conversation possible. They are supporting females in business. They are making sure that these women are not walking alone. And there's an initiative that I would love you to find out more about. That's Grow to Scale. Go to bpn.rw. On that website, you'll find out more about Grow to Scale. We'll be back in a bit. Welcome back. This is The Real Talk. My name is Jackie, and our guest is Paradis. So, Paradis, this is beautiful. You're a young mom. I'm 22. There's a newborn. Then there's a new business. And there's a first client who's standing there. But thank God you've registered your business, and now you can move. And you also, your recovery was quick. So indeed, you could just get into it. How then do you meet Alice?
Okay. So now I am on this job, and I do it successfully well. They are happy. But then for me, it was like, I'm done. But then
did you just that one?
Yes, that's one project. I was like, I'm done. I just helped them. I love the hotel. I love Akagera. I remember literally we used to go to Akagera like 2 times a year, just because I loved Akagera. Even a day trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really for me to do it and to be part of their great vision. And then this is the time I have a few things remaining, like in terms of a few chairs and a table. And I remember I had this amazing counter and this amazing chair, which I created with a beautiful wood and a beautiful natural I banana fiber. It was stunning. Everyone who saw it was like, oh my God, this is the next biggest thing ever. I still believe it is. Banana fiber, I love it. Yeah. And I love wood. That's why I use genuine materials. So now I find myself with these beautiful pieces, and I'm like, I would love to show them around. But then it's not really like I want to show them. One day I'm just driving around town, and then we see this place called, a place in town, very strategic place downtown with a sign to rent. I was like, okay. I take the number, call them. Hi, I would like a space. Da, 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 da. They're like, okay, let's meet. This is really, really the high street of Kigali, like the street of Kigali.
Yes.
And the one has seen me arriving with Liam.
Oh gosh.
With a baby. And then they look at me, then I also looked like a baby. They're like, they're trying to make
How old was Liam at that
equation.
time? Had you made one?
3 months.
Gosh, 3 months.
Yeah, you know, so they're trying to connect the dots. They're not connecting that well. And then I'm negotiating with them because I remember the rent was something incredibly high. Yeah. But I had some little savings. And I was like, okay, can I pay for 1 month? And I was, but I think they literally they were curious to see if it's going to work. Yeah. But when they saw my product, they were like, looks good, looks good, looks good. This looks like.
Did they have any doubts that it was your work?
They were. They were like, is this made in Rwanda? Everyone. I was like, yeah. Of course, then they gave me the keys. I moved in the first month. The first day we opened, I think the first week we opened, I received a call. There's a gentleman parking outside our shops, buying everything we have. Sell out. Wow. Within that first week. Yeah. And the man is he's a great architect who's very well known and respected in Rwanda. And he was like, I've never seen this level of dedication, of excellence, of creativity. Let me show you my projects. Oh my God. And right now, I'm just me with the baby. My sister is on holiday and she's just helping me because she's studying. Yeah. So she's just helping me. So it's not even like a proper business. And this is the same, like the following week, this is when Alice comes to visit me. Alice from VPN. Yes. And then
did you know her before?
No.
Okay.
So she drives, because this was the high street of Kigali. I think someone saw us and then told her. And that I think at least every time there's a potential great business pushing the grounds in this country, she knows.
She would know.
She will know, because she was born for
Something will lead her to that person.
You know?
Yes.
And you meet people that at least identifies. Yeah. You are always mind blown, you know? So that's a very special thing about BPN that I'm so extremely passionate and grateful for. Yeah. So Alice finds me. This is my third month. My second month, entering my third month. She's like in this little shop. She sees and she likes everything. Unlike everyone else, she was not like, whoa, this is out of this world. She was very neutral. Because everyone was like that. Yeah. So for me, I was like, And she's like,
who is this?
And she's like, is this your business or your hobby? We just have very gracious, calm voice. I was like, what? Why do these two things have to be? Because you remember when we fill our CVs, nobody asks you your business or your hobby.
Does.
You know, the hobby is the last thing on the bottom. In the 1 time or 2 that I prepared my CV, I remember hobby is the last thing.
Thank you.
Right? So why do you mix business and hobby? I was like, whatever. I don't have an answer. But I had a high regard for that question, and it intrigued me. And me being a good student that I am, I was very worked. So I started asking people, what do you think is the difference between a hobby and a business? And I will ask her. She would try to break it down. But that's the same. After 2 weeks, I closed the shop because I couldn't keep it up. Yeah. You know, so now my sister is going back to school. I don't have help. I don't have money I could just like go on.
You also didn't have another client.
I didn't have another client yes. Yeah. Oh, I remember actually I had a GIZ client. I had GIZ office, which is now one of the best office 10 years down the road. So then I had to close because this place, I told you, this is the high street. Like it's like going to New York and you go to the Times Square and you're like, I'm collecting a shop here, you know? Really? That kind of thing.
Are you crazy?
Yeah. business. You're starting a business. You know nothing about it.
You know nothing about it.
You know, and of course you have to know nothing about it for you to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, when you start.
Yes.
Anywho, so
my.
what happens then is I close. Alice starts looking for me. She finds me home. She didn't give up on me.
She didn't give up.
She really comes home. Because after many trials, I never wanted to pick up her calls. I never wanted to pick up BPN calls because I was like, I'm no longer in business. Like I'm studying, I'm a mother. I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
But then Alice says, hi, can you give me the address of your house? Because I told her I'm working from home. She was like, okay, I can. So I am sitting, I'm breastfeeding, I'm just chilling. And remember my favorite chair? I had refused to sell it because I was like, I'm still working on it. I never wanted to sell it.
Yeah.
And then when she sees that, she's like, oh my God, okay. She sits down for like 3 hours. So for me now, I look at this lady coaching me, teaching me, giving me examples, patient, waiting for me to put Liam on the back, to put a baby on my back so that I can fall asleep. You know, going, and I'll be like, okay, if you don't even want to be an entrepreneur, Paradis, just at least honor this great woman.
You know, just this woman is not a woman that you've known all your life.
Voila.
Your friend. Why is she taking time?
And her driver's in the parking waiting for her. You're like, okay, these two people have really done too much.
Yeah.
And then she's inviting me to a training.
Okay.
So now I'll go to this very first VPN training. Oh my God, that turned my life upside down. It changed my life for the better. It really changed the woman that I am, the way I think. In that training, I remember Hans, who was our coach, our main coach. Hans and Alice were coaching us at the same time. Okay. Hans is a Swiss coach who was coaching for BPN then. He was asking us questions and really digging deep. And one great thing he told us, he said, this is beyond you. This is beyond you achieving stuff, being famous, having money, making money, building and investing, and This is
That's
also,
what Hans told you.
Yes, this is a contribution that you can give your country and your continent. And he used to say, Rwanda needs you, with a heavy voice, passionate voice. And Alice will repeat it, all of us will shake. And me, I'll be in tears. Because I will remember when I was a kid, my dinner prayer, my sleeping prayer, my morning prayer was, I want to be a blessing for my country.
Wow.
And for my family.
Wow.
So this was the moments that were like coming together.
Yes. You saw it, you proclaimed it, prayed for it, and here it was happening.
And this is, now I am in class to learn actually how to be a blessing, a contributor to my country, to my generation, actually even beyond my country.
Wow.
Yeah.
How has that journey been so far when you look back and some of the mistakes that you made? Because you started off from zero. You had no idea, no training, nothing. It's not like you had ever created anything with your hands.
Yes.
Here you are, and then BPN comes in, Alice talks to you, Hans is in your life. And so there are certain things that you're correcting.
Yes.
Or there are certain things you're doing for the first time.
Yes.
So what were those things?
So everything that I was doing then was for the first time. I was a mother for the first time. I was a business owner for the first time. I was now putting my creativity out for the first time because I grew up very creative. I am very privileged that from when I was 7, since my mom was a stay-home mom, she used to do embroidery. Like many African moms, even if they stay home, they still do something.
They still do something.
You know, and I honor them.
Even if they went out to teach,
you see those
do things.
Voila.
You know?
So my mom, even if she was a stay-home mom, she did embroidery, and she taught me. And I remember from age 7, I was still embroidering with my mom. You know, after school, during school holidays, even till when I was like 16.
Yeah.
I think I stopped doing that when I was like 16.
And you do it with her and then go out and sell it?
And we'll sell it. My mom would always sell it to our close friends, and the friends would tell somebody else. It was purely word of mouth, but it would always sell. And then she would also pay me, which I have an immense respect towards my mom for that. Because she gave me financial literacy without just only talking about it, but she'll pay me. She'll pay me and she'll ask me, what are you going to do with your money? You know? And, you know, I will have 1,000 or I'll have 1K. I'll be like, oh my God.
And that was a lot of money then, you know? And for the young you, really.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'll be so empowered and I will love it and she'll love my finishing. So creativity, now your question is how many things was I doing for the first time? Everything was the first time in its own dimension. But I love how I would say God had prepared me for each one of those things. And so me submitting to the coaching of BPN and really humbling myself to learn was, to me, until today, is one thing I always pray to God. I say, please, God, always give me the humility to learn and to recognize people and what is their greatness. Because to me, those two things really happened really quickly at BPN and set me on a course, like you were saying the other time when you made me cry so much. That God did not wait for me to be 61 to give me a career or to give me a fulfilling career. I know most of my friends, my age group, you know, people in their 30s, early 30s, 20s, amazing people with amazing talents, amazing experiences and education, but some of them, they really are, most of them actually, they're living very depressive careers and they don't like what they do, leave alone who don't have jobs. But you know, they're miserable and all those things. So I really, I even now when I think about this is the 10th year and my greatest gratitude goes to, you know, by age 21, 22, I was already set to go in my fulfilling career. And I know that on social media we see trends that say, oh yeah, they started early at 22, then at 32 they were empty. No. And that's one thing I love about BPN, because I never see this becoming something that drains me, because it started off really well from a place of purpose. So it started from a place of, and what I love about BPN, my first training with them, and what they focus on and their biggest strength, it's really not telling everybody we've trained 10,000 people. I remember our cohort, we were 30 people. Can you imagine a whole organization mobilizing resources and great people? Like Alice, I cannot even start to open up about the type of big deal woman she is.
She's a big
If
deal.
you look at her CV and things she's accomplished for many international organizations in Germany, in Switzerland, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in the US, and now here.
But then these are people. She sits on here.
Yes, and these are the same people who put themselves together and led by Alice. They are sitting with 22 years old like me,
you know,
teaching us, leading us, and what they are bringing into us is a sense of purpose. And we are only 30. It's not like we're 10,000. We're in a class. No. And we are only 30 because they want to visit us, because they want to hear us, because they want to know what is the biggest burden you're carrying right now that is hindering you. What is the biggest block? You know, and it's, to me, what I find BPN did in my life was to allow me to really step into my purpose and to really contribute to my country, to my family, as a great creative entrepreneur. Yeah.
Women struggle with business, and not just big business, like women carry such a huge responsibility, and a lot of them will get exhausted, they'll get fatigued, they'll be tired and miserable, just trying to make everything work. I remember being somewhere and a lady said, you know, I'm always asked, how do you balance being a mother and being a CEO and all these things? And she said, you do not have to be perfect. I wonder, from your experience, for a woman who is watching and she's struggling as an entrepreneur, what is that formula that has worked for you that you're going to share with her? And I know that God plays such a central role in your life. I have a feeling you're even going to tell us it's God who makes these things happen for you. So I want to hear from you that formula that has worked, that for sure the person watching can learn and implement in their own life.
Just some caveat here. We are a generation of great information, great lessons all around, great mindsets, teachings and motivation and thought leaders are here. We're constantly fed, and I'm one of them. We have AI, we have, you know, ChatGPT 4, where it's doing an amazing job, and all these great things. I am a beneficiary of those. But I I can make a split, clear separation of when my life was overwhelming. Though I was using these great tools, I was still privileged in some ways and also struggling in many ways. I was still, like I told you, I grew up in a family that is just not the family with the most privileges, you know. Like, you know, I went to the public schools in primary, got
Oh, you told me you went to that school where, you know, wearing
your blue uniforms, you know?
Not a skirt and a blouse.
Yeah, and you yes, and I remember then we used to learn in Rwanda. You were learning science in Rwanda and all those things.
Imagine, yeah, and science in Rwanda.
You know, and of course, then by God's grace, I got scholarships and all that. I got values to work really hard and work smart and all those. But then I realized there was a certain time in my life, especially as an entrepreneur, mother, and, you know, responsible woman in her family. I'm a family woman. I'm, you know, as a daughter, as a friend, that I got overwhelmed. And then one thing really changed it, and that was the investment in my faith. And I have many friends that are successful on a global level. Like, these guys are just like moving things for countries, you know, globally, you know, from different continents. You're young and from all different types of age groups, but all of them, most of them, because I'm a faith woman, or you know me, and I talk about God.
You know,
so we all came to a conclusion. Every conversation that I have with them, we're all like, but there's something, but there's something.
Yes.
And some of us that have a privilege to have invested in our relationship with God, in our faith, we all have a common denominator. We don't get overwhelmed. God is a principled God. I like to look at God as a chairperson who has all systems in place. And I like to look at the Holy Spirit as my senior partner who knows everything. It's just like, imagine in your life, you have somebody who tells you, don't do this, and you do it. And he knows it was not good for you. And he's so gentle to just sit back and let you. So for me now, when I look at the way God has been to me and in my journey as an entrepreneur, I'll say it's the only formula. And I know how...
What is the only formula?
He is. And I know how people are like, oh yeah, you Jesus girls, you God girls, you just keep on saying God and God. And I'm like, first of all, you know, like... There's I am a scientist. Like, I love science. I'm a finance woman. I'm doing finance, and I'm actually even doing an MBA in fintech. And at the same time, I'm a product designer. I'm an artist with a collection that I'm showing around the world. You know, that is going on a world tour between now and 2026.
Yes, and this is the first time you're doing a
world tour. Yeah. You know, and so being all these things at the same time was only, it only took me to realize that this was only God, God-given. And for me to, so there's such a thing as a good success and a bad success. And to me, a good success from the right formula is from the Spirit, where my faith is in check, where my faith is rooted in Christ. I like to say Christ in me is the hope of glory, and I'm bold about it. And I don't want to sound churchy, but in me is the hope and the guarantee of glory, of success. When I go to this world tour, I'm already starting to receive invitations. Invitation from Hamburg, invitation from Zurich, invitation. These are people who don't know me. So and they've probably seen my work once, but now they're like, oh my God, you're an amazing artist. We love your philosophy. Because for me, I'm using my creativity to resolve and to handle and to nurture our society and to resolve social challenges. You know, like, how do we address poverty? How do we address unemployment? How do we address gender inequality? How do we address the environmental crisis that we're going through? And to me, I'm using art, expressive art, that is tangible arts, like in furniture, in creative pieces like this, in places, and creating spaces like this. So this is all things to me that I believe that God gave me that deposit, and He's constantly leading me through that. Even at Wood Habitat, you know, when I tell people one of our biggest philosophy at Wood Habitat is to be financially stable and flourishing, and we are not into loans. We are not a grantpreneur. I'm not a grantpreneur.
You're not?
No, I have to, and I'm a highly motivated growth entrepreneur, but I'm not into the growth just for the grants, just for the numbers, just for the, you see, I'm like, as I serve people, let my value be accepted and wanted and demanded and rewarded.
That will sustain itself. It will be
And
rewarded.
rewarded. And I want it in multiplication. So when I say I want it in 2x, 4x, 10x, I mean business, and we work towards that. Yeah. So yeah, these are the things that I would tell the woman who is at any stage of their life in their career, because I don't like to only speak to entrepreneurs.
Yes.
I like to speak to any woman, because I believe all of us, we have a career we are called to. First of all is hold on to God and look at Him, look at God, sit with God, tell Him, design my life and help me, and then sign up for that. That's it.
Let's talk about Kwisova Nchirwa.
Yes.
This year is special. What are you celebrating most?
Oh my God. So in Kwisova Nchirwa this year, Kwisova Nchirwa is a very deep Kinyarwanda word. I don't think it has any translation in any word, in any language. It means living in a knowing of yourself truly, living according to your divine purpose. Like there are good things that you do. It's like kwihagachiro, like to carry yourself with war or with
Dignity,
value, dignity.
yeah.
Voila. And Kwisova Nchirwa stems from what I believe and what Wood Habitat believes. It's African and Rwandan values. And Rwanda as a people, we know that we cannot do anything without values. And I think we are just one of the people that God has deposited that in, and it's proven by our history. And to me, as I carry on a legacy, as I build a legacy, this is the seed we are planting. We are amplifying the voices that have Kwisova Nchirwa, that know that we are, all of us, each one of us, we are here to contribute to our community, to our larger communities, as a generation, as a continent, as a country. So yeah, this is what we are standing for at Wood Habitat, and as we celebrate our 10th anniversary this year, is really all about community. And that's why I'm here, because I know this is beyond me. This is, I'm just part of a big picture, and I just want to be a faithful contributor.
When you look back, you're still young, very young, but what advice, what would you say to your younger self? Whether it's something related to life generally or entrepreneurship, you look back at your younger self and you speak to you. What would you say?
Speak to me. I would just say keep going, but in humility and excellence.
Keep going in humility
and excellence.
And excellence.
Yeah, that's like as you go, you keep these things. Every morning, every evening. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Is there something, as we are saying goodbye, someone has sat with us for more than 40 minutes, they could choose to forget anything. Of all the things we've said, they could choose to forget.
Yeah.
But is there something that you do not want them to forget? A message you want them to stay with from this show?
Yes. I would like to tell everyone who is listening to us right now that we are living at a golden time, and I don't know if we are really that chosen people, chosen generation.
We're the chosen generation?
We are that chosen generation, and so all my cry, my prayer is that we all continue to contribute.
Yeah.
Contribution. We are contributors.
We are contributors.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jackie.
You're a blessing.
Amen.
Thank you. I've loved this.
Thank you so much.
I've loved it.
Thank you so much.
I do not know what to say. I cannot add anything onto what Paradis has said, but it's been quite enlightening. And I hope that you have picked a message that is going to help you in your life generally, or your life as a mother, as a business person, as a servant. You know, what I see in front of me now is a woman that has allowed herself to be used by God to serve a divine purpose. And I do hope that from this conversation, you get to find your purpose and that you will serve with excellence. Once again, I want to say thank you to BPN and the MasterCard Foundation for making it possible for these women to thrive in business, for creating spaces where they get to meet, interact with each other, learn how to run their businesses, how to run their personal lives, and even how to excel. There is an initiative, Grow to Scale, that I want you to read more about. Go to bpn.rw. You'll find all that information there. My name is Jackie Lumbasi. It's been a pleasure talking to Paradis Nishimwe, the founder of Wood Habitat. Thank you, you should visit them. Thanks to Mythos for hosting us. We look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless you.